back to the NFL. It's starting to ramp up a little bit. We've been just doing NFL and it's been complete like off season, dead, no news coming. Now, things are starting to pick up. Training camps happening. It's getting a little bit more exciting. So this is actually going to be this guy was born in Smyrna, Tennessee on October 24th, 1994.
Okay, so pretty recent.
He's still in the league. He's only 31 years old. Usually, I wouldn't do a guy who's still in the league, but this trade has basically all but completely played its course. So I felt like it was fair game. His older brother played quarterback at Middle Tennessee State, where their dad also played. And when he was 6 years old, he would play pickup football with his brother, who was 4 years older than him. So he was like this 6 year old playing with 10 year olds, and he would get wrecked. But, just like playing with the big kids, he says like really helped him get better. Which is, you always wanna like you do that, no? You bring the JV guys up to varsity at the end of the year just to get the reps.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think a lot of athletes, when you look at their stories, I feel like a lot of them are like they were the youngest brother of like five and they were always playing up. Like it's definitely an advantage, especially from a young age if you're playing up.
Yeah, you Drake May. They're always saying that. Although I guess
Drake
Joe's still out
May
of it.
May.
He is. Yeah.
I love Drake May's brothers.
Who's the Luke is the North Carolina one who was, like, very good at North Carolina as basketball. Who's the other one?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. He was a walk-on, but he had one of the biggest shots in recent history in March Madness.
But by the end, wasn't he one of their best players?
Yeah, he went, like, by his junior year, he had that big shot, and his senior year, he was a starter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. The videos of Drake May hooping also, like, he could hoop.
Yeah, he's got a nice looking jumper.
Yeah, like, he's a legit athlete. Um, alright. Anyways, back into this guy from Smyrna, Tennessee. So, his dad, he said that, like, he always he was always, like, for his age and his age groups, he was always the best, and he always thought, like, "Oh, like, I'm the guy," and his dad was always like, "Nah, there's always another mountain to climb. Like, you're not in the NFL, buddy." So, he goes to Ensworth High School in Nashville for his freshman year of high school, and then he transfers to Brentwood Academy in Tennessee after that. Plays football and track. He was a five-star in football, ranked 14th overall in the country in the ESPN 300. Also elite at track. He still has the Tennessee state record for long jump of 25 feet and 3.25 inches. I checked the records, Tennessee state website. He still's the record holder.
This
So
sounds like, a receiver.
it's not a receiver, actually.
Is he a corner?
Yeah, DB corner.
Okay, that was my other guess. Like, if you're that great of an athlete, you're usually a receiver or corner.
Yeah. So it's always interesting. Like, I guess he couldn't catch, right? Like, why else would you play corner unless you can't catch?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it if you don't have great hands. I also think, like, sometimes I'm not gonna say an easier path, but, like, everyone's a receiver, so if you're a great corner, like, you're rare.
Right. And I guess if you're just like instinctively a really good corner, that's so like rare. Right. Like you're saying, that's so rare, especially at like lower levels. Cause a lot of I feel like the corners, like as you get to high school, a lot of these guys are, oh, you know what? It also is they play both sides of the ball in high school. And if you're, if you happen to be like a 3-star receiver and a 5-star corner, you're going to play corner in college.
Yeah, and, I mean, it tends to happen, like, in high school, the best athletes play receiver, and then in college, a lot of receivers transition to corner.
Right. That's when they really find out you can't catch.
Yeah, exactly.
Get
Like, you can
exposed.
get away with it in high school because, like, most of your catches are, like, you're beating your guy and you're getting lobs but, like, in college, you're not getting away with it, like, you need great hands.
Yeah. You ever see the videos of Willie Cauley Stein playing receiver in high school? It's hilarious.
Really?
He was
I
like,
can't imagine
he
him
was,
having good hands.
he had great hands. He was like 6'8". There's nothing anyone could do.
You ever
Yeah.
see the video of Draymond trying to play tight end at Michigan State?
No, he like suited up in a real football game.
I think it was in a spring game. It looks like a child, like, putting on, like, pads, like, the wrong way. Like, he looks so
Really?
awkward.
But he's huge.
He is huge, but he looked, like, so out of place.
That's really funny. I want to see LeBron in pads. He must look like he belongs. No?
He played in high school. I just can't imagine taking a hit, like, to the legs, you know?
Yeah, Wendy always says that LeBron was a better receiver or whatever, but it's Wendy. LeBron hates Wendy anyways.
Well, now he does, but in the beginning days, Wendy was his guy.
Oh, they were close?
Well, Wendy made his whole career not really close, but Wendy's whole career started because he was following LeBron.
Right, I know that Wendy's career started that way, but I
So,
didn't
but
realize
in the
LeBron ever liked them.
beginning, he made his whole career on, like, hyping LeBron up as a high schooler.
Right,
So
interesting.
I think originally maybe LeBron might have liked him.
Didn't know.
Eventually, as all media people, LeBron, didn't like it in the end.
Yeah. All right. So this guy, he goes to Florida State. He starts all 14 games as a freshman.
By the way, I think I've already got who it is.
Yeah, let's hear it.
This might be the earliest I've called it.
No, you called him earlier than this before, I feel.
Yeah, but you said corner, super athletic, Florida State. My mind goes to or someone who in my head who's like been in the league forever, but like a trade is already done. It's gotta be, I don't even know where he plays anymore, but I feel like it's gotta be Jalen Ramsey.
Yes, it is. There you go. Yeah. I mean, like also being so young, like 31, he's still in the league. There's not so many options, especially when you hear like freak athlete.
And I
Um,
mean,
yeah,
corner is just one of those positions. I mean, if you're a top corner, like there's only a few.
right. And especially like he was a top corner for a long time. Like,
Yeah, it's interesting because he's only 31, but it kind of feels like he's washed.
yeah, well, corners, I feel like, well, you know what happened though? Did he transition to safety and then he was like actually still good this past season on the Steelers, maybe?
Was he on the Steelers this year? I'm sure
Yeah,
he played
remember
well
the
in
the
the Steelers
Steelers
defense.
the Steelers traded him. We're gonna get to that trade at the end, but the Steelers swapped him and Minka last offseason.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He was on the Steelers, and I think what they did is they moved him from corner to safety, and he was actually good. He made the Pro Bowl again. Maybe that was just brand name, but
That is kind of how you, as a corner, extend your career.
right. Especially, I mean, not everyone can do it, but if you're a corner who's like he's big, I feel like he's actually I have it here. He's 6'1", 210. Like that's
He's
big for
big
a
and he's
corner.
got just ball skills. Like
Yeah.
he's got ball skills.
Okay, you got it. So he's at Florida State, freshman, starts all 14 games. They win the national championship his freshman season, and he was the first cornerback to start any games as a freshman at FSU since Deion Sanders in 1985.
Wow.
So, and Deion didn't start every game. Like Deion got the starting job week 5 or whatever, and then like never gave it up. He started from day one corner, which I feel like I mean, I don't think that really happens, right? That, like, corners are starting in college? Doesn't sound right.
As a true freshman, I mean, out of all positions, I think that might be outside of quarterback, like the hardest one to adjust to. So that's pretty special.
Yeah. And he obviously, like, he laundry list of awards. Like I said, he won the national college national championship as a freshman. I'm not gonna go into his college career. Going into the draft, do you remember this draft? This is, like, one of the drafts I was, like, really locked into because the Ravens drafted 6th. He was, like, considered one of the top prospects in the draft. Like, he was a consensus top 10 prospect, which, again, like, you rarely see that as a corner.
Well, yeah, you rarely see it, but when a corner is a top prospect, like they tend to be, I feel like they hit at a pretty high percentage. Like
Yeah.
Pat Surtain was a pretty high prospect.
There's a big
Uh,
with, Okuda, Jeff Okuda from the
Jeff
Lions.
Okuda was a big whiff.
Yeah, Stingley took a little bit, but now he's elite, but it took him a couple seasons. But yeah, you're better. Like, imagine you get drafted top 5 as a corner and you miss on that, like a DB, that's a bad look.
Yeah, but if you it's one of those positions that, like, if you have it, like, you have it forever. Like, the corners can play a while, and they're just like you could just shut down, like, half the field.
Yeah, although we've seen it used to be that way more, I feel like, with Revis. Nowadays, I feel like these corners are kinda like the Ravens had Marlon Humphrey, and he was one of the best corners in the NFL. They they signed him to, like, a massive contract, and, like, he's not that good anymore. They lose a step, and then it's hard.
Yeah, well, once you lose a guard, I also think, I mean, defense and especially corner is a position that, like, you need help. Like, not that you need help guarding your man, but if you're if your D line, like, if you're not creating pressure, like, you could be stuck on an island for a while.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a tough position. I mean, it's interesting. Um, okay, so going to the draft, he's a top 10 prospect, and the Cowboys told him, which is always funny to me, like a team say this. The Cowboys said, if you fall to 4, we're gonna take you at 4. They don't take him at 4. He falls to 4 and they don't take him. Do you remember who the Cowboys take 4th overall?
What year is this?
2016 NFL draft.
Can you throw a position and I'll tell you?
The second I throw a position, you're gonna get it.
Is it a receiver?
No,
It's not Dak.
no, he was like a 4th rounder.
Um, I'm thinking, oh, it's Zeke.
Yeah, they take Zeke 4th overall.
Yeah, it's interesting because that's a terrible pick, but he had an amazing first couple of years.
Yeah, he was great for them, but like not he didn't it didn't feel like he produced more than a running back they drafted in like the 3rd or 4th round would have produced.
Well, he was the rushing leader, but people forget that the year before they also had the rushing leader because they had the best O line in football.
Right, for years.
Who was it? Was it DeMarco Murray? There was someone there
That
the year
sounds
before
right.
him who was like the NFL rushing leader, and then they drafted Zeke, and it's like, I
It's
mean, I
such
get
a
it.
Cowboys pick.
Yeah, and they fall in love with the big names and the flashy players.
Top players. Rusher in 2014, it was DeMarco Murray. He had 1,845 yards. In 2015, it was Darren McFadden. So there was a little gap. He only had 1,089 yards, which is still pretty good for Darren McFadden. And then Zeke, his rookie year,
So they're
1,600.
coming off of 2 seasons with 1,000-yard rushers.
Yeah. Yeah. And the truth is, like, Zeke kind of, he had 1,600 yards rushing, then only 983, then 1,400, 1,300, and then 979, 1,000. And then Tony
Listen,
Pollard took over.
if I was a GM, I would never, ever pick a running back, maybe even in the first round.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, like, but then you think about if there really are transcendent talent, like, was Saquon a bad pick? The Giants obviously didn't do anything with him, but, like, he was a talent that was good enough to transcend
I'd
being a running back.
rather have a fully baked team and then trade for a ready known commodity talent at running back than, like, try to shove like, if I'm picking early in the first round, I'm not a good team. And
Right.
to pick a running back, it's just you can get good running backs in the 3rd round and the 4th round, and so much of being a good running back is having a good O-line. It's just not a position I value for a first round pick. I just don't value it that way.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense.
Even Genty and, like, there are certain players, like, I like them, but if you're getting hit in the backfield, there's only so much you could do.
Right. Like, Genti couldn't do anything this season because it was a terrible offensive line.
Yeah, and, like, I get it, like, you want talent, but, like, I would definitely, as a GM, like, I'm looking to build the O-line and D-line first, and then build out.
Yeah.
And maybe, if I have a rookie quarterback, then I'm gonna draft like a bunch of receivers. Like I'd rather like the Joe Burrow way. Like we can have a crappy defense and just let my young quarterback, just have weapons. But
Yeah. Although he had no O-line, and then he got beat up and, like, tore his ACL and had tons of
that's
injury
true.
trouble.
But I don't understand with all we know about running backs and how their careers are short. Like I just don't understand how you can pick a running back so early. I just feel like it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the Titans just drafted a running back really early.
Who? Do you know?
Was it the Titans? No, sorry. No, it was the Cardinals took, what's his name? Love, Jeremiah Love.
They took him first round,
The Cardinals, when did they take him? When
and
was
those guys don't even have a quarterback, the Cardinals. I guess they drafted
No,
back.
they have, what's his name? Cam Ward. 3rd overall, Jeremiah Love went in this
The
past draft.
Cardinals, the Titans have Cam Ward.
Sorry, you're right, I'm getting confused, yes.
The Cardinals got Carson back.
Yeah, yeah, they have no one. They just decided they wanted Jeremiah Love. Alright, go
I Good
crazy.
for them, I guess. I mean,
Listen, trash organizations are trash organizations. We'll get to it in this episode, but, like,
yeah.
it's an obvious okay, let's get back into anyway, so at the draft, um, Jalen Ramsey said that, like, all the cameras were on him and Zeke, and then all of a sudden, all the cameras go to Zeke, and his mom's like, "Damn, it's not you, bro." So he doesn't go to the Cowboys. He obviously wanted to go to the Cowboys, and then he said the Jaguars told him, like, "We really like you, we wanna take you, but we don't think you're gonna fall to 5." And then once he fell to 5, he was like, "Damn, I wouldn't mind falling one more pick, and then I get to go to the Ravens." But didn't happen. Goes to the Jaguars. You remember actually, I have to touch on this. This is the Laramie Tunsil draft.
What an all-time draft.
Yeah, this is listeners who don't know, this offensive lineman, Laramie Tunsil, was the consensus top pick. He was an awesome prospect. He is in the NFL now and is very good. Like, he would have been considered a hit if he went first overall, and he was 100% going to go first overall. Everyone said he was going to go first overall. And then uh, a video comes out of basically him smoking something, presumably. I mean, it wasn't a cigarette. I'll just say that.
Oh, come
Clean,
on, let's talk it like it is. The man
clean
is
shot.
wearing a gas mask. This is an all-time draft thing. This is like one of my favorite stories. A video gets leaked of him just getting absolutely baked out of his mind with a gas mask.
This is the night of the draft. Yes.
I
He
mean, it cost him millions of dollars.
he was fine in the end because, like, his 2nd and 3rd contracts have been good.
In the end, it worked out, he made tons. I'd love to know, like, the story behind it, and there needs to be a documentary someday.
Yeah, it never
Like,
came out. Like, someone was clearly trying to sabotage him.
I have 2 theories. One, it was an ex-girlfriend,
Could
um,
be. I have no idea.
and 2 is that a team who wanted him later tried to tank his value.
That would be great. So he ends up falling from being like a surefire first overall pick to 13th overall,
Was he
which
supposed to be 1 or he was just supposed to be like a top 3
no,
pick?
he was gonna be one. Like,
Wow.
100%. I think, like, even the Ravens drafted Ronnie Stanley, who is, like, everyone knew was a worse prospect, but, like, they didn't wanna once the video came out, they weren't down. And the reason why, if you don't know, it costs you millions is because your contract in the NFL is, like, pretty much automatic. There's a little bit of wiggle room, but pretty much automatic based on the pick you're drafted in. So you lose millions of dollars by falling from 1 to 13. Anyways, Jalen Ramsey, he goes to the Jaguars, and he's basically all-time prospect, all-time player, considered a top cornerback in the league. Like, even as a rookie, he finishes 2nd in defensive rookie of the year. His other 2 seasons on the Jags, he makes the Pro Bowl, cream of the crop, considered an awesome, awesome cornerback, one of those lockdown corners that just, shuts down half the field. You don't have to even think about it. Jalen Ramsey's guarding this side of the field, and we don't have to worry about that on defense. It gives you tons of wiggle room. The issue is, though, that the Jaguars are a disaster organization. Jalen Ramsey is known as, like, He's a big personality, and he did not mesh well with the Jaguars at all for many reasons. And this all kind of comes to a head. This is not like the reason. This was the straw that broke the camel's back, but it all kind of boils over because they're playing against the Texans, and DeAndre Hopkins catches a pass, and Ramsey thought it was incomplete, and he wanted head coach to challenge it. Head coach is Doug Marone at the time, and Marone doesn't challenge it, and they get into a screaming match on the bench. And the next day, Jalen Ramsey demands a trade away from the Jaguars. He's talked about this like it was bigger things. He was upset that they hadn't extended his contract yet. That was like his biggest thing because if you're a really good player, teams that are good for it's just funny like things that happen. Good franchises extend their players early. And bad franchises don't. I don't really understand why, because you end up saving money. Like, think about the Bengals, for example. They refused to extend Jamar Chase, but then they had to pay him a bigger contract than they would have had to pay him if they would have just given him a contract extension the year before. Like, do you know what the rationale is there?
Well, for some teams like the Bengals, it's because 'cause they're cheap. They have a
But they
history of
lose
being
more
cheap.
money in the long run, no?
Absolutely. But in their head, they're like, let's let him play out the contract and see what happens. Maybe his value will go down, or maybe like if he gets hurt, I don't want to commit. Like it's one is it's I think it's like there's some guts involved, like pulling the trigger early on extension means you really believe in a guy. And a lot of teams, especially the cheap ones, won't do it. And you're so right. The teams that do it early have more flexibility later. They get him in on a lower contract, and the teams that do it late, first of all, they end up paying more. Second of all, those guys end up usually holding out, and it messes with their season. Like it just I haven't seen it work out like well when you wait long. And this is in by the way, in basketball too, this happens. Like the earlier you extend someone, you're getting a cheaper deal and more flexibility. And and not even that, you're getting them on a cheaper deal, but they're happier because you extended them and you showed you believed in them early. Like it just makes for better roster construction and better vibes all around. And there's certain teams that every year you see them going through this. I mean, the Bengals, every year someone's holding out. And every year they're dragging their feet and they're doing shenanigans. And then you wonder why they haven't been able to get over the hump. It's like they're not willing to do what it takes.
Right. The only time that like they made one Super Bowl because they had everyone on rookie contracts, right? Like I think I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Burrow, Higgins, and Chase were all on rookie contracts. So I mean that
Yeah,
helps
that
obviously.
was, rookie contracts. Also, by the way, I wanna just say, if we're being real, Ramsey kinda had a point. I mean, the the Jaguars, we're talking about the freaking Jaguars who historically always stink. They were 1 game from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They were a couple of plays away from the Super Bowl against the big bad Patriots, and and it was because their offense wasn't good. It was who was their QB? Nick
Bortles.
Foles.
No, Bortles, I think.
Sorry, Blake Bortles, right? Nick Foles won the Super Bowl that year. Um, their their QB is Blake Bortles, who no one has claimed is this great player. Even then, no one considered that good. It was all their defense, and it was all Jalen Ramsey and who was the other one? AJ Bouye.
Yeah.
Like they were this lockdown corners to the point where they could just man up and blitz every play and just trust their corners.
Yeah,
And
and it was his small contract giving them flexibility. Unless I have it wrong, I mean, I don't think I do. I'm 99% sure I don't. When you extend a contract, you're not paying him more for his 5th year. His 5th year, you still have all that flexibility, right? You have a 5th year option. You pick up his 5th year option. That year, he's still only getting paid whatever it is for his slot, 7, $8 million a year. If you sign him, the extension doesn't kick in until after that, and it's at a lower price. It doesn't make any sense. So he feels disrespected that they're not willing to extend him. In general, I think probably that boiled over. He doesn't feel like he's close with the leadership. He demands a trade. He only plays 3 games that season, and then he sits with like, one of these fake back injuries, whatever it is, until week 6 where he's traded. Do you remember who he's traded to?
Um, this isn't the Rams yet, is it?
It is. He's traded
It
to the
is the Rams.
Rams.
Okay.
This is a F them picks.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, to hold out from the Jaguars and get to go to the Rams, like, that's a dream.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, exactly. So he's traded middle of the season, 2019 season, and he's traded for 2 first rounders and a fourth rounder. The 2020 first rounder is Clavon Chasen, a linebacker. He started 11 games combined in his first 2 seasons with the Jaguars, 0 games started in his next 2 seasons, and then the Jags decline his fifth-year option, leaves in free agency. So, this is what I was saying. There's no remnants of this trade left. That's the first rounder. Guy off the team, Jaguars got nothing for him. 2021 first rounder. Do you know who this turns into? Running back.
This turns into, Fournette,
No, Fournette's earlier, I think.
Etienne.
Yeah. This turns into
Okay.
Travis Etienne, who misses his rookie season. Then he has 1,000 yards in 3 out of the next 4 seasons, including 1,100 yards this past year. And what happens to him? Jags let him walk. He signed with the Saints in free agency this offseason.
Okay, that one's a bit different because I don't hate not paying running backs, so
Yeah, I mean, my let me finish up and then I'll get to like my overall issue with everything.
yeah.
It was a fourth rounder after that. Robert Rochelle, Rochell, defensive back. They packaged him to trade up for Jordan Smith, who was a linebacker. He only played 2 games for the Jaguars, didn't start in either game, and never played another game for the Jaguars or any other team. So, nothing. And here we are in 2026, and there's zero remnants of this trade left on the Jaguars, and they didn't get any value for Etienne or chase him. So, I get what you're saying with Etienne, but it's like, so then why didn't you trade him? You know, you should have traded him at the trade deadline. If you didn't want to extend him, that's fine. It's not like he wasn't. They had good running backs this year. They didn't really need him that much.
I think they believe that that other running back would kinda take off. Is that Tank Bigsby? Who their other running back?
I think they traded Bigsby in the end. There's someone
Right.
else.
They ended
Whatever.
up trading Bigsby, but it's I don't know. I have a weird thing with running backs. Like the second you pay them, they become overpaid. Like
Yeah. Although a first contract to a running back's not so bad, but I hear what you're saying. I also, it's just one of like the real theory is like you can draft a running back who's probably not that much worse. Whatever. I hear it. Let's
every
get
4 years, you could just draft a running back in like the fourth round. It'd be fine.
Yeah, some teams do that. I mean, but then, we've seen like recently running backs on massive contracts have been propelling teams, right? Most famously Saquon basically propelling the Eagles to a Super Bowl. So like
And
it is interesting,
Kenneth Walker was awesome in the Super Bowl.
right? Kenneth Walker was huge. They let him walk. So
So it's just that that's the only time I would pay a running back is that Saquon situation where it's the final piece. Like we had everything, we just need a running back. But I'm
right.
never paying them unless we have everything else.
Yeah, I hear it. Okay. Into Ramsey's Rams career. He immediately plays for them. He's great. He makes the Pro Bowl. The Rams give him the contract the next year that he's looking for, 5 year, $100 million, 71 million guaranteed. Makes another Pro Bowl, first team All Pro. 2021 wins the Super Bowl with them. So Rams get exactly what they're looking for. Another first team All Pro. He played through tears in both his shoulders that season that were repaired in the offseason. Shout out. Um, 2022, another Pro Bowl, and now 2023. This is like what I'm talking about. The Rams, what do? Diminishing returns, older corner. They turn around and they trade him. They trade him to the Dolphins for tight end Hunter Long, who was a backup tight end for them for 2 seasons, and a 2023 third rounder, Byron Young, who's an outside linebacker for them. Third
Not
rounder finished
not
what?
only do they trade him, they they get off his contract and they trade him to a patsy like the Dolphins.
Yes. And the like Byron Young's a great player. He was 8th in rookie of the year his rookie season. He started 16 out of 17 games for them in 2023, 16 out of 17 games for them in 2024, all of the games last season, and he made a Pro Bowl this past season with 12 sacks and 82 tackles. Like he's a legitimate starter Pro Bowler now. Like to me, it's just like what good organizations like the Rams, they find a way to continue to extract value from these players. Where the Jaguars, it's like you drafted this guy, he's an extremely valuable asset. You move him for 2 first rounders, and then those 2 first rounders, you don't like, you weren't even able to get any value from them. Like ETN, whatever he produced for them, Chasen didn't do anything for them. He was off the team. He played for the Patriots last year. ETN, you let him walk in free agency. The 4th rounder you trade up for is a complete bust. Like, and then the Rams are laughing all the way home because they were able to get him, win a Super Bowl with him, and then flip him for a great starter that is still on a rookie contract now.
This is the epitome of, like you said, just good organization versus bad organization. The Jaguars refuse to pay him when they should, trade him for actually good value, but then botch the picks. Meanwhile, the Rams say F them picks, get him, sign him at the right time, and then trade him at the right time, and then do a good job drafting. Like good organizations are going to be good organizations. That's why if I'm a Jaguars or one of these perennial garbage teams, if I have someone who's elite in my building, I'm not letting him go. Like it just has to be that simple. We never hit on draft picks. If I have someone that good who's an all pro and one of the best in the NFL, I can't let him leave. I got to pay him early.
Yeah. Or like Miles Garrett. Well, I don't think we've spoken about this yet. Just got traded to the Rams. They're going to do the same thing with him. He's going to produce for them at an extremely high level for the next 3 seasons, and then they're probably going to move him.
And
You
they'll
know,
move
it's
him
going to be
at
a
like
weird
just the
transition.
right time when he's still good enough that they can get some value.
Yeah, the same thing they did here. They'll get a 3rd rounder, a 2nd rounder, whatever it is, something. He's because also big names are
And
always going to get you some value.
and
And
they'll also do it and they'll take advantage of a team that like is looking for a splash.
right, exactly the same thing they did here.
Even though Miles Garrett's in a position that I think you could be good at for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. So whatever, maybe it'll be 5 seasons, whatever it is. But it's just like they understand. I think like the Rams have a lot of loyalty to like their guys, you know, but like I don't think they necessarily are gonna view Miles Garrett as their guy. You know, they got him later in his career. Yeah, he's an awesome, awesome player, but similar to Jalen Ramsey, like Aaron Donald, they never were gonna let out of the building. But I think they'll probably just move him again in a couple seasons because like their GM is just this is what he does. Like he's
Yeah.
very good at this.
And it just I think understanding value, like first round, everyone's like all excited about first rounders. There's still a 50-50. Like it's still like even if you're good at it, you miss. To have a guy who's already a known commodity and we know he's legit is worth more than a first rounder sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, it's
To the
different obviously for
Jaguars,
your team rebuilding, but like the Rams just do it right. They constantly do. And a team like the Jaguars is just like
first
they can
rounder is worthless to the Jaguars. All they're
and
gonna do is draft a crappy player. Like they don't draft well ever. So if you happen to draft someone good, you definitely should hold on to them. The first
yeah,
rounders you get, as we see, are just gonna be wasted.
yeah. By the way, just speaking of Aaron Donald, what's your prediction? I predict he's coming back.
I think even like Schefter said it. One Schefter, like, you know, even like put the rumor out there. I think it's right. It's got to happen. I don't know how long it takes that guy to get back in shape. I don't know how good he's gonna be, but I hope he comes back. It would be
Are you kidding? Have
cool.
you seen the videos he's posted?
Yeah, but he always like when he's working out, he's always like, "This is me retired," you know. So like, I don't know if he has like what he has to do to get to
The
him
guy who
playing.
just got traded from the Rams in the
Yeah,
Miles
Jared
Garrett
Verse.
trade this past season, Jared Verse went to work out with Aaron Donald and couldn't make it through the workout.
Yeah, we talked. I think we covered this on the on the pod at the time. Yeah, I
So
understand that, but
so
I'm just
Aaron
saying
Donald is
for
ready to
his
go.
standards. Well, for his standards, maybe not. We'll see what happens.
If they're together, like, is that auto Super Bowl? How do you stop that team?
Well, again, like we never know how just because he comes back, like he hasn't played
But
in
we're talking about
three
not just him
seasons.
coming back and being single covered for the first time in his career,
Yeah,
or put it the other way, Miles Garrett being single covered for the first time in his career. Like, how do you block those guys?
it's gonna be awesome. I hope he comes back just to like witness it would be cool.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I think the NFL needs him back. I think the Rams gotta pull out the brakes truck, whatever it takes to get him back on the field, because 'cause they're ready. If you look at the teams that the Seahawks played, they were the only ones who were even close.
yeah. I mean, this is it, right? Like Stafford, it sounds like is probably done after this season. Maybe
Yeah,
one
like, you
more.
gotta go all in for one more year, and if you can convince Donald, I wouldn't be shocked if Donald, like, kind of, like, waits 8 weeks, like, maybe comes in middle of the season so he doesn't have to play a full season.
Yeah, I think probably he'll do something like that.
But if they could get him back into the building, I mean, it'll be just cinema to watch Aaron Donald and Miles Garrett just teeing off on quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's also just it's always good to put like a veteran presence like that back in your building who like is loved and
Absolutely. I
adored.
mean, it helps everyone. It just all the if he's back in the building, you know, I'm responsibly putting a lot of money on them to win the Super Bowl.
But we're not giving anyone gambling advice.
We're not giving gambling advice, even though I am on a heater in these
Yeah.
kinds of picks. Um, I'm already contemplating throwing them anyway. I mean, with Miles Garrett, I think I'm not getting great value because the line's probably like they're probably one of the favorites,
Yeah, you gotta
but
wait for your boost. Gotta
they're a
boost it.
reason. There's a reason they're a favorite. Like they were a couple of plays away last year.
Yeah, and it's also just like they're one of those franchises that's so good. McVay is so good. And it does kind of feel like inevitable that they're gonna win sooner rather than later. So
I
yeah,
mean,
I mean I
it's
hear it.
also, you know, obviously a lot of it is just on Stafford's back. Like, can his back stay healthy? Um, and I don't know. Puka had a weird offseason. I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah. Although I will say with Puka, no matter what's going on with him off the field, when he's on the field, he's electric.
He's a
Like
baller. Like
he,
he just balls.
during the season this year, there is some weird stuff happening. But when he was on the field, which I think he played basically every game this year, like he was electric. So
Yeah.
I'm not so worried. Like, yeah, okay, he went to rehab, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it'll be a net positive for him and he'll come back and he'll off the field issues will be done with, but I'm not so concerned about it. Okay, let's hop back into this quickly. So the Rams got everything they need from him. They win the Super Bowl. They move him a couple years later. The Dolphins, another trash organization. He makes the Pro Bowl the season they trade him for him, 2023. Then in 2024, they sign him to a 3-year, $72.3 million extension. And that season, he doesn't make the Pro Bowl for the first time since his rookie season. And then they trade him to the Steelers for Minka. I don't understand the concept. And this past season, just to round off Jalen Ramsey, where he's at right now, he made the Pro Bowl this year for the Steelers, like we are talking about in the beginning. I'm pretty sure they moved him to safety. Um, yeah, the you signed a guy to a massive contract extension and then you trade him. Like, what? Why?
Yeah, I wonder what the story is behind that. Like, could it be that he was like there was some locker room stuff there, or I mean, they never really should have paid him anyway. I don't know. I don't really get it. Does anyone get what they're doing over there, the Dolphins?
No, I mean, right. That's a good point.
Like they make boneheaded decisions all the time. It feels like, and I'm a Jets fan, obviously, and it feels like my franchise is disaster. But somehow the Dolphins are also like, even though they've I guess made the playoffs more recent than the Jets, but like it seems like they're just as much a disaster as the Jets in terms of just like decision making. Sometimes they've had some talented teams and McDaniel's had a couple of fun teams, But in terms of just like long-term decision making, it seems like they're always making the wrong decision.
Yeah. I think they were really like they just decided after that season that they wanted to go a different direction. Um, Also, like McDaniel didn't get along with everyone. I think that was part of it. And it helped them with cap, but again, like, so then why'd you sign him? Like, whatever. What
Yeah,
they got him off the books, so that's fair. The move might have been good in the end just to get him off the books. The weird thing was re-signing him.
yeah, I mean, I wonder, I mean, also just if Ramsey became an issue in the locker room. I also think so much of it is like owners, like back to the Jaguars originally. Like, let's say the GM was like, we need to pay this guy early, and the owner said no. And then now you have this situation where the player's not happy, and then he gets into it with the coach, and now as a GM, you have no choice but to trade him.
Right.
So I think sometimes that happens where like an owner, it definitely happens on the Bengals, where an owner's cheap and doesn't want to pay someone. And then it turns into like, well, eventually the guy got traded and the GM takes a lot of heat. But like, did he really have any other choice? I wonder specifically in that situation, like about paying Ramsey, like who actually makes those decisions? Some teams the GM might have that green light, but I would assume most teams, like with those big money decisions, is straight to the owner.
To me, if you're a GM, I guess you take a job if you get the offer, but like, how can you have a working relationship with the owner if he's not willing to extend people early? Like, also, it's just weird, right? Like, you paid, you know, they had no problem giving Trevor Lawrence the biggest quarterback contract at the time, even though he wasn't the best quarterback. Like, I don't know how he was able to sign a
Well,
max.
with quarterbacks, like you kind of have no choice.
Well, they couldn't negotiate better than that. Like, usually, if it's like you got like the biggest one, it means that everyone was on the same page that he deserved it. Like, I don't know, or he
I'm
knew if he hit free agency, someone else was going to make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Like, that's
Yeah, that
crazy.
seems a lot, but it was at the time where like every quarterback that signed was the most high paid. Like it just kept going up.
I know, but that also, like, I don't understand that. Like, why? If you're Josh Allen, you're Patrick Mahomes, you're Lamar Jackson, sure. If you're Trevor Lawrence or Tua, like, why are we signing you guys to massive contracts? I don't
Yeah,
really
I'm
get it.
not gonna. Yeah, I agree. No, you're absolutely right. Especially like if a quarterback sets the market, shouldn't you be able to negotiate and be like, "See, Mahomes got this. You think you're better than Mahomes?"
Yeah, yeah,
But I
I don't
wouldn't
know.
put Tua in the same conversation. Like Trevor Lawrence, I'm not fully in on him. Like I don't believe this guy's great, but I do think he's better than people think, and he's a long term quarterback. While Tua, I do not think it's a long term quarterback.
Yeah, but at the time they thought he was, whatever. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, I think his past season was pretty good. Okay, let's get into the grades here. You wanna go first? We're back to grades. We haven't had grades in a little bit.
Yeah, I don't. It's the grade is really the fact that the Jaguars screwed up their picks because value wise, like two first rounders and a second rounder could have been really good or a third rounder.
Oh, it was a fourth rounder. But
Sorry, two, but the
it's
fact that
also
they
it's Rams first rounders, like, they're end of the first round.
that's a good point, and also you let him out of the building. The best one of the best players on a team that went far. It's really bad. I mean, what did we say again? Higher is worse, right?
Yeah.
This like almost hits an 8 for me. Like I put it like maybe breaks 8. Yeah, I'm gonna go 7.9. Like it's right there on the fringe of like disaster.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm a little bit lower. I'm at 7.1 just because the Rams, whatever, they got everything they needed out of him. They got a Super Bowl out of him. The Jaguars obviously screwed up big time, but it's not like he was like the Rams only had him on their roster for 3 years. So just like when I'm looking at, and I always have the advantage because I'm staring at the grades. When I'm looking at like some of these other ones, right? Like Marshawn Lynch trade, it's like, all right, he was on the Seahawks forever, or like,
But you a lot of times you penalize trades because they didn't win. This one they won.
yeah. I don't know. 7.1 seems pretty high to me. I'm also like, I have no idea what I'm doing when I'm grading these. I just make it up every week.
Every
Went
time I
down
take all
feeling.
my previous grades and just wing it, but it's bad. It's just this is like the epitome and this of something that we basically comes up every episode, which is just that good organizations make smart moves and bad organizations make dumb moves. And
Yeah.
this is just the Jaguars decision after decision just making the wrong ones.
It's also funny, like, these teams have been around for years and years and years, and, like, I don't understand how it just continually, like, there's organizations that are bad organizations, and there are organizations that are good organizations, and the bad ones don't seem to really get better. Like, every once in a while, new ownership comes in, whatever, you see, like, a turnaround, but, like, these are billion-dollar organizations, and, like, I don't understand it. How is it possible that they're not getting better, right? Like, it was really, like, remarkable to me watching the Giants and their, remember when they had the offseason thing that afterwards they're like, "No team's ever gonna let them do this again." NFL Films came in for the offseason. I'm watching the Giants and, like, in the offseason, like, they think that they're a good organization. Like, they're talking as, "Oh, we're drafting high and we're gonna do this." They really believed that they were gonna be like a, like a team that made the playoffs the next year. And it's just like there's a bunch of delusional guys standing around in the offseason. They probably
And
convince themselves of this every single year, and the ownership just lets it continue to happen. Like, I guess it
and
must
and
come down
and
from the
even
owner.
in that video, I think they make jokes like, "Oh, I hope Saquon like he better not go to the Eagles or something." Like they're literally they let the guy out the door and like they look like buffoons. The way they're discussing their high picks, they look like idiots. Like it makes you wonder sometimes like does no one know what they're doing? And then
No.
it's like
And then you see the Rams and you're like, nope, people know what they're doing.
yeah, like, but definitely there are some guys who fail upward and end up in positions that like, and you're like, this guy's the one making decisions, really? I also think, I mean, like you said, sometimes like it's the organization, like just for years and years, and that there definitely is, something on the ownership where either they're too involved or they're just keep making the same mistakes in who they hire for coaches, or they fire coaches too quickly, or like so there is something to like an organization could just stay terrible and sometimes it's the ownership.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think that's all I got. You got anything else?
No, that was great. I always love like when we could see someone who's like, pretty recent and you could see
Right. It's
kind of
all
just
like
how it
right
turned
now.
out. It's so obvious.
Yeah. I was like, this is perfect. Like everything, basically, the only thing that hasn't, it's really like a branch of the trade. It's not really the trade. Like the direct trade is done, right? Ramsey's off the Rams, and the Jaguars, all their picks are done. Like they didn't get any return on it. The only thing left is that the Rams got return on Ramsey on the back end. So like we don't know how good Byron Young is going to be. He's very good so far. So right, maybe if he turns into a perennial Pro Bowler and considered one of the best outside linebackers in the NFL, it looks like an even worse trade for the Jaguars. But
Yeah, maybe in 10 years we'll revisit this in episode 250 or
yeah,
something.
never know. Thank you for listening to The Trade Rewind. You can find us on social media at The Trade Rewind on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. If you enjoy listening to the show, the best thing you can do for us is to leave us a 5-star on Spotify and share the episode.